So picture this, 9 adults, 1 Google form, 4 questions that are supposed to represent the entire point of your teaching career. 1. What do we want students to learn? 2. How will we know they've learned it? 3. What will we do if they didn't learn it? 4. What will we do if they already know it? Here's what we actually typed in. Question 1. What do we want students to learn? Routines. Question 2. How will we know if they learned it? We'll see the routines. Question 3. What will we do if they didn't learn it? Continue to practice. That's it. That's the whole form. Submit it, time-stamped, done. Compliance achieved. And the wildest part? I used to be the person making sure teams didn't write that. Today, I was the one writing it. So let's talk about accountability theater and what it actually looks like from the inside, and why I sat back, said nothing, and enjoyed the air conditioning. Welcome back to the Veteran Teacher Files. I'm your host, the Dragon Lady. And if you're new here, I've got 25 plus years in this profession, across 5 grade levels, 5 school sites, a stint as a literacy coordinator, an instructional coach, and now I'm back in the classroom, which means I've sat on both sides of this table, and you're about to hear all about it. I've run this meeting, and today I sat in it. So let me take you back to a different team. A 4-person first grade crew at a high-performing school in a high-performing area. I'm going to call us by our compass points. We were north, east, south, and myself, west. South was the lead of our original group. She'd been teaching first grade forever. In fact, she's still there. She had 2 kids at the time enrolled at our school and a toddler at home. East had taught 5th grade at a private school, took a few years off to raise her own kids, and had come back. She had 4 kids enrolled at our school, spanning from TK to 5th grade. North had taught 4th grade at our school and had moved down to 1st grade. She also had a toddler at home. And I had been teaching 6th grade and came down to 1st grade, but I also had previous 1st grade experience, and I came with my 2 cats. And let me tell you, what an amazing year. We came together and it was like superheroes. We had a rhythm and we didn't deviate from it. Every Tuesday, 90 minutes, language arts, planning the whole week. South had examples for everything because she'd been doing this for so long. She had examples saved from years back for basically any lesson you could throw at her. Wednesdays, we did the same thing, but for math. Thursdays, we did our prep, and that was it. We knew that we had Mondays open, and we knew that we had Fridays for whatever we needed to do in our classrooms or for staff meetings. That was it. 3 days a week, without fail. We walked out Wednesday with the entire week built. Lessons, materials, copies, done. It wasn't magic. It was just 4 people who'd agreed that the work was going to get done, because we couldn't wait for the twice-a-month meeting that the district gave us. That team wasn't lucky. We built that on purpose because none of us wanted to be doing this work alone, and none of us wanted to be doing this work late into the night or having the work take up our entire weekend. So keep that picture in your head, because I'm about to take you somewhere way different. So, fast forward. I am now back at a site where I was once an instructional coach, but now I'm back as a teacher. And today we had our first PLC of the year. 90 minutes on the calendar. I know this dance. I used to run this dance from the coach's chair. Here's what got covered. Bathroom passes, dismissal lines, an 8th grade field trip, including a draft of a behavior contract, which we actually didn't start drafting. We did not draft it. Which class gets to pick out the shout out student for the monthly assembly, and yeah, that's about it. Not 1 second on what kids need to learn. Not 1 second on how we'd know if they learned it. Now, let's talk about who was actually in that room, because this is where it gets absurd. So stay with me. I teach 7th and 8th grade math and science. So logically, I should have been meeting with 7th and 8th grade math and science. What? But instead, in the room, there was 7th grade English and Social Studies, 8th grade English and Social Studies, my counterpart who teaches dual immersion, 7th and 8th grade English and Social Studies, and because our site's small, we also had a special ed teacher, a PE teacher, and a music teacher who all teach 7th and 8th grade. 9 adults. 4 of us actually share content, and the other 5 had nothing to plug into a what are we doing or what are we teaching this week conversation. Because music doesn't have a math curriculum to align to, and neither does PE. The special ed teacher was there because she has students that she has to mainstream into our classrooms, which happens more than it ever has before. I've talked about that in a previous episode. Today, her actual task was figuring out which elective was the softest landing for one of her students trying to mainstream. Would it be robotics, journalism, or beekeeping? Meanwhile, I'm doing the math in my head. Is one more student going to bump me over the cap? Am I going to get a stipend? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not worth it. Yeah. The PE teacher, the whole time she was there, she was just contributing to whatever the conversation was about the kid currently being complained about. Her whole contribution was, yep, he does that in PE too. Yep, his sister's the same way. That was it. Oh, and she also announced that she was the lead for the 8th grade field trip again. So I told my husband this story, and his mind was blown. His question was completely reasonable. Kindergarten teachers don't sit on 1st grade and 2nd grade planning, so why would 7th and 8th grade language arts, math, PE, music, and special ed all get thrown into a room together? And I had to tell him, there's a real thing called vertical articulation, where subject teams talk across grade levels on purpose. But this wasn't that. This was 9 people getting lumped together because a middle school only has 2 or 3 teachers per subject, and somebody decided nobody's allowed to just not be in a meeting during that block. It's not vertical articulation, it's babysitting with a Google form. So here's the part I'm not going to let myself get off the hook for, because I know exactly what those 4 questions are supposed to produce. I've coached other teams through them. I've watched teachers wrestle honestly with what will we do if they didn't learn it, and come out with a real plan. I know what it looks like when this works. I just told you what it looked like. And today, nah, I didn't push. I didn't suggest we break into our content groups. I didn't say a word when routines got typed into the 4 boxes. I just sat there and I felt the AC, and I just watched it all happen. So this isn't a story about a broken system or what broken systems do. This is a story about someone who knows better. And I just sat in that room, and I chose to be the one who didn't say something. Not because the system tricked me, because today was just not that day. So here's what I want to leave you with. The paperwork can be flawless. The actual work can still be completely absent, and nobody in that room has to lie for it to happen. That's what accountability theater is. The boxes get checked. The play goes on. So, I want to hear this one. Have you ever been the person in the room who knew better and still just let it slide anyways? What made you stay quiet? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this one hit a nerve, you know what I want you to do. Like it, subscribe, follow along. I'm the Dragon Lady, and this has been the Veteran Teacher Files. See you next time.